welcome everybody to the UFC on Fox conference call. UFC Velasquez versus Dos Santos for the World Heavyweight Championship takes place on Saturday, November 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Today we are joined on the call by World Heavyweight Champion Cain Velasquez, challenger Junior Dos Santos, as well as his translator, Ana Claudia. If you do have a question in Portuguese, we ask that you allow Ana to translate that so that everybody on the call can hear it. At this time, I will turn it over to UFC President Dana White.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate your time. A couple of things before we kick this thing off. For those of you that didn't know or didn't hear, I announced last week that the prelims for this fight will only be available on Facebook and Fox.com. That includes every fight from the first fight right up to Ben Henderson and Clay Guida. All of those fights will be on Facebook and Fox.com. And obviously, the heavyweight championship will be live on Fox. Also, on Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Fuel TV is taking the weigh-ins live. So the weigh-ins will be available live on Fuel TV Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's all I got. Who's got the first question?
If you'd like to ask a question on today's call, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure that your mute function's off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Once again, that is star 1, and we will pause a moment to allow the queue to assemble.
And Camille, we can start with Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press.
Yes, thanks very much. Dana, my question is for you. For those who don't know, can you tell us what we can expect from this first Fox television show in terms of, it's obviously new, different from what you've had on television before. What will there be, more features, that kind of thing? What can we expect to see?
Yeah, there's going to be, a lot of breaking down the fight, features, going backstage. There's actually going to, this is probably the first time we've ever done this, I think. If not, we did it a long time ago. An interview with the guys before they come out. It's going to be a completely different, obviously it's one fight. It's going to be a completely different format than we've ever done before.
And do you have a sense of, obviously you're going to tweak things as it goes along, but do you see the sort of one super fight as big fight going to be the focus, or will it change each time?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a work in progress. We're gonna. I'm telling you, we've been working hard on this thing, man. We've been working hard on kicking this first one off, figuring it out, and then it's gonna be, like I said, a work in progress. All the changes that I told you are gonna happen to our production and everything else won't start till January. But this show is gonna be a lot different. First fight on Fox, different format, and for the first time ever, one fight and the heavyweight championship.
Just finally for me, you have your production down pretty pat. You've done it a long time. Has it been difficult, or you're partnering now with something? Were you able to use your expertise, or was it obviously you were, but was there a whole new dynamic?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, we've been doing this for over 10 years now, and when the day of an event, we rehearse the thing like we've never done it before, every time. I mean, Saturday when I do this fight in England, we will rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. So you can imagine the fact that we've never done this before, and we're adding a lot of new things to this Fox show. We're going to be rehearsing this thing like crazy. We're going to start rehearsing on like Thursday to pull off this fight on Saturday, and we're kind of using our model and what we do as far as shooting and producing fights, and Fox's model for how they handle and cover sports.
Okay, well, good luck with it. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Next, from Fox News Twin Cities, we have Leif Knudsen.
Yeah, this is Leif Knudsen. Hey, Dana, a lot of people curious if the Dos Santos and Velasquez fight doesn't go 5 rounds, which a lot are leaning towards that not happening. Is there a automatic to go to Bendo and Guida next, or are you going to look at the card?
There's only going to be one fight. The heavyweight championship fight is the only fight that's going to be on Fox.
even if it's half a round?
It goes 10 seconds.
Sounds good. I will let my bosses know. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And once again, that is star 1 if you'd like to ask a question. Okay, next from Ola American Newspaper, we have Nicholas Cunningham.
Yeah, my question is for Dana. I know you've talked about a lot about the UFC going all over the world, and has the fact that this is the first time that two fighters of Latin descent will face off for the title, has that sparked up any new conversation about maybe going over to Mexico?
Yeah, we've been working on Mexico for a long time. Believe me, Mexico is a very important market to us. You know, if you remember when we first started this thing, the three no-brainers for me were the United States, Mexico, and the UK. Mexico's taken a little longer than we planned, but yeah, we're aggressively working on Mexico.
Is there anything you can talk about of why the long hold up at all?
That's tough. It's, you know, getting out there and maneuvering in other countries isn't easy. If you look at, for this fight on Fox, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 countries taking this fight live. And, you know, as you do business in all these different countries, from Brazil to China to here to there, it's tough to maneuver and get things done. I mean, I think we've been incredibly successful. If you figure, look at it this way. We just got on television in America in 2006. And now we're in all these other countries, not just on some pan-regional sports network, on major networks in all these different countries. And that's what our goal is. We don't just want to, you know, roll into these countries on some goofy network somewhere. We want to be on the real deal. So it takes time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we have Daniel Olia with Zona Deportiva.
Muy buenos días, Caín.
Buenos días.
Sí, mira, tengo una pregunta para ti. El hecho que vuelvas al Honda donde ganaste tu campeonato, ¿te representa a ti más presión, como lo acaba de decir Mr. White, que cada día hay más mexicanos viéndote? ¿Te pone más presión o te sientes igual el compromiso cuando peleaste por el campeonato?
Pues igual, yo sé que mi trabajo es para entrenar y ganar y es todo. Yo no pienso en otras cosas asesinas yo sé que yo voy a tener mucha raza ahí, mucha gente ahí atrás de mí y yo me voy a sentir bien.
¿Apoyarías la UFC en México como lo están diciendo que están trabajando en ello?
No, sí, si la UFC van a México y pues yo quiero pelear ahí, yo quiero hacer una de las carteleras ahí.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Our next question comes from Sean Gregory with Time Magazine.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
How are you?
Good, good. Hey, and I apologize if you've addressed this already. I kind of got on late, but can you just describe the business decision to, you know, take these fights from pay-per-view to network instead of, you know, keep monetizing the pay-per-view revenue stream, which has obviously been successful for you guys?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're going to keep doing pay-per-views, but the way that we look at it, I became a huge boxing fan when I was growing up from watching ABC's Wide World of Sports. They always had the big fights on Saturday. My uncles would all get around and watch the fight, and you know, that's what I remember growing up, and that's what turned me into a huge fight fan. Once that pay-per-view model came out, boxing stopped putting big fights on free TV, and you know, I think it's damaged the sport. It's one of many things that have hurt the sport of boxing. So our goal has always been to bring big free fights back to television. And now that we have a network deal, we're looking at it as, you know, obviously yes, we're going to take a hit on the pay-per-view side for a big fight like this, but we're thinking long term for the future of the sport and making the sport bigger. That's why we're going to do it and continue to do it.
Great. Is there, like with the Fox deal, do you project, you said you're going to take a hit, but do you project possibly the advertising revenue down the road for this kind of fight making up for the lost pay-per-view revenue, or is this purely, as you say, kind of a marketing thing where you build for the future?
it's an investment in the company. Yeah, in no way, shape, or form do we come anywhere close to making our money back. You don't go on free television and make your money. You don't. It's just not how it works. Yeah, we're going to get smashed on this fight, but it's an investment in the future of the business.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Dave Dybert with Post Media News.
Hey guys, I kind of have the same question for all three of you, just from different approaches. Cain, you've been out for it'll be over a year by the time you're back. There's always going to be that excitement, those butterflies going into a fight. Is it different at all this time going in? A, you've been out for a while. B, first title defense.
I mean, there's always butterflies, yeah. I mean, right now it's not going to be more than usual, when you kind of get in the grind of training and everything else, that kind of gets your mind ready for what's ahead. So, I mean, yeah, there are definitely butterflies there, but it just makes me, like me, that makes me feel ready. That's natural for me to be a little nervous, but no more than usual.
Right. And Junior, it's a long awaited title shot for you. Does this one feel any different than any of your other big matches in the past?
Júnior, essa luta foi muito esperada, muito aguardada para você, a sua luta, a sua chance pelo título. Você se sente diferente entrando e preparando para essa luta do que você se sentiu em suas outras lutas?
Realmente eu esperei essa luta, com certeza é diferente para mim. Eu estou esperando isso há muito tempo, essa luta. Já tinha começado a me preparar para essa luta contra o Cain antes, e agora a minha preparação foi toda de novo. Então eu tô num momento muito bom da minha carreira e quero continuar nesse momento, fazendo tudo acontecer bem. Mas eu não estou sentindo muita pressão e estou me sentindo muito bem. Então realmente foi um pouco difícil, como tudo aconteceu, mas o UFC tem me dado coisas muito boas na minha vida, e essa participação agora na TV aberta e na On Fox, e ainda mais contra o Cain Velasquez, que é um grande campeão, vai ser muito bom para mim.
Yes, I have waited a long time for this fight. I began preparing for it a while ago, and I started preparing for it again recently. It was a little tough to wait so long, but right now I'm in such a good moment of my life. I'm in such a good phase. Physically, I feel so good, and I want to keep showing great things in there. Waiting, it was hard, but in the interim, the UFC gave me a lot of great opportunities. And the greatest opportunity is now, fighting a great champion like Cain Velasquez for the title on Open Network TV on the UFC's debut on Fox. So it's a really exciting time, and I want to go in there and show my best.
Yep. Okay, and then I guess along those same lines for Dana, you get to watch the guys go out there. They have their moment in the cage. How are you feeling? Now that you've been working, everyone in the company working real hard leading up to it. Are you nervous? Are you excited? What as a guy behind the scenes, so to speak, going into it and finally getting close.
Yeah, I'm confident in Junior Cain. We made this fight the first fight on free TV for a reason. These guys stylistically both are aggressive, both fight. I know for a fact. That's why we made this fight. That this is going to be an awesome fight. This is going to be a great fight. Now, yeah, it's the first time in a long time that I've been worried about. We got to pull off this production. I'm always, a freak about making sure we give people the best product, but this is a whole different. The fact that we're going to be rehearsing this thing from Thursday to today, there's definitely a lot of pressure here to pull this thing off and make this great.
Do you learn from what you guys have done well, and I guess maybe what others haven't done well. You know, there have been some previous, some network ventures on CBS and whatnot with other companies. You know, do you look at them at all, see what worked there, and how much do you guys go into your personal playbook?
No. You mean other organizations?
Sure.
No. I don't look at what anybody else has ever done in the industry. You know, but one of the things, if you look at traditional sports, you know, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, even boxing, a lot of the things that we do in our show isn't what is normal in sports broadcasting. So when you start dealing with, it was one of the problems I had with HBO, and when you start dealing with a network and you're doing things that they're not used to doing, it's interesting. So.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
We're working hard, and we're gonna nail this thing. I know the fight's gonna be great. The fight is the least of my worries. That's why these two are in the spotlight and in this position.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Rodrigo Ferra with IG Internet Group.
Hi, I have a question for Dana. This will also be the first UFC fight on global TV, and how's that a big thing for UFC? And there were a few other Brazilians network interested on you guys. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more on how the deal was made.
What's that? The global deal? How the global deal was made?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because this will be the first. This will also be the first global TV here in Brazil, and it's also a major thing in here.
Absolutely, yeah. We started on H.E.A.T TV, and you know, they were great partners for us, and the event down in Brazil was so successful. It's how we ended up landing this deal with Globo. I mean, you guys from Brazil know that's a big deal. Globo is the monster network down there, and you know, the UFC was so successful, we got the deal done. I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
Okay, and I was wondering if Junior could talk a little bit more about that on Junior, se você pudesse falar como vai ser lutar na Globo, se isso vai mudar, a pressão também é maior, além da Fox também tem a Globo, como é que você está indo para essa luta?
Let me do a translation in English so everybody can follow. He's asked Junior, as a Brazilian fighter, what it means to him to be fighting on Global TV, which is the biggest Brazilian network, and this will be the UFC's first foray onto that network as well as onto Fox.
Eu realmente estou muito feliz. Como eu disse, tudo que o UFC tem feito na minha vida é maravilhoso. E agora, além de passar na TV aberta nos Estados Unidos, vai passar aqui na Globo, que a Globo é como os olhos do Brasil aqui. E o que me deixa muito feliz, o nosso esporte está evoluindo muito aqui para nós, principalmente aqui para nós agora, brasileiros. Temos um grande campeão de toda a história, que é o Anderson Silva, que eu acho que foi quem abriu esse espaço todo aqui no Brasil. E o José Aldo também, que é um grande campeão, como vários outros. Mas esses são os importantes, e eu estou muito feliz de estar fazendo parte de tudo isso, principalmente do primeiro evento, passando tanto nos Estados Unidos, na televisão aberta, quanto na Globo aqui no Brasil, e eu acho que isso é grande, muito grande para mim.
Okay, thank you.
He's very, very, very happy to be a part of this event. Everything that the UFC has brought to his life has been wonderful. Global is really the eyes of Brazil, and to be on Global means to be part of the growth of the sport. The sport's been growing so much due to great champions that come from Brazil, including Anderson Silva and José Aldo. And the participation of Global with the UFC, that partnership, is really going to help the growth of the sport, and he's very happy to be a part of it.
Valeu, Júnior, obrigado.
Valeu, fera.
Our next question comes from Kevin Iole with Yahoo Sports.
Hey Dana, is the fight going to be available in Canada and in the UK, and are the weigh-ins going to be shown in either of those places?
I don't know about the weigh-ins, but yes, it's going to be in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Croatia, France, Greece, Italy, Japan, Korea, Fox Sports Latin America, MENA, New Zealand, the Philippines, Thailand, Ireland, and the UK.
Do you know what network in Canada? I'm getting a lot of questions.
Rogers.
Okay, thanks, Dana. That's it.
Yep, thanks.
Next, we have AJ Perez with FoxSports.com.
Hey, Dana. Could you talk about the evolution of your international scouting under your leadership over the years, and how many scouts you have now, and finding guys like Junior all over the world?
Yeah, it's, the mixed martial arts is the new martial art. Kids are growing up taking it. It's really spread like wildfire all over the world. And there literally isn't a country that you could point your finger on the map that we couldn't get a fighter from. And I think we've done a great job of finding and cultivating great talent from all these different countries. And, I just announced last week about the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. I mean, the amount of talent that the Ultimate Fighter Brazil is gonna create is gonna be phenomenal. And as we continue to go into these different markets and do the Ultimate Fighter, it's going to get very interesting. And I've said it many times, and finally, I feel like I'm on my way. My goal is to get the Ultimate Fighter running in all these different countries at the same time. Then when you have a winner, we do like the World Cup, where each guy from each country fights each other, and you end up with one winner. So we're getting closer and closer to this dream I've had for the last 5 years.
And for Junior, was he ever worried, as long as he kept winning, that he'd catch the eye of the UFC or a major organization? Was there any doubt in his mind?
Você, enquanto estava treinando e desenvolvendo a sua carreira, você teve alguma dúvida que você atrairia a atenção do UFC?
Eu realmente, tudo para mim realmente foi acontecendo tudo muito rápido, então eu nem pensei muito nas coisas, eu só fui me dedicando 100% a tudo que eu fazia, como eu sempre faço, e as coisas foram acontecendo. Eu acho que quando a gente trabalha duro, se dedica o suficiente, acredita em Deus e é uma boa pessoa, as coisas vêm para você, e eu sou uma prova disso. Muita coisa aconteceu comigo e está acontecendo, e agora eu estou a ponto de disputar. Eu treino menos de 6 anos, eu comecei a treinar jiu-jitsu e hoje eu estou disputando o cinturão mundial dos pesos pesados, então isso já é uma grande resposta, entendeu? Eu acho que a dedicação faz a gente ser melhor.
Everything truly happened very fast for me, so I didn't have too much time to think or to doubt. I just always gave 100%, which is what I always do. I kept working really hard. I truly believe that if you work hard and you apply yourself and you're just a good person, good things happen to you. If you believe in God and just do your best all the time and treat people right, good things happen to you. And I'm proof of that. I started training martial arts in jiu-jitsu less than 6 years ago, and I'm about to fight for the world heavyweight title on the UFC. So I didn't really doubt myself. I didn't doubt that good things would happen. I just applied myself, and I believe that that's what got me here.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeremy Botter with Heavy.com.
Yeah, this question's for Dana. Dana, we've seen a ton of promotion on this show, from the World Series to Cain appearing on NFL on Fox. How personally satisfying is it for you to see these kinds of things on such a huge network, and also how happy are you with the effort that Fox has put into making this a big show?
No, it's like I said when we announced this deal, there's been so many milestones that we've had over the last 10 years, and I mean, people who've been following the sport since day one, I guarantee you nobody knows more than I do how hard it was to get this sport off the ground and to get people to take these athletes serious and the sport serious, and to finally be watching Fox NFL or any of these big the World Series or whatever it might be, and to see spots and commercials about our fight airing on Fox. It's definitely one of the proudest moment I've ever had in being in this business. And also, it's about time. We all know it. The people who've been in it long enough know what incredible athletes these guys are, how hard they work, how smart they are, and the list goes on and on. And I think that's what makes me the happiest, is to finally see these guys on the same level as all the other athletes and respected the way that they should be.
And I've got a question for Cain. Cain, you've been in big fights before. You've been in there with Brock Lesnar. does this fight feel any different to you? Do you treat it any differently in terms of the magnitude, considering that you're going in, defending your title, and it's possibly the biggest fight in UFC history?
No, I pretty much treat it like just like a regular fight that I've had. I don't think about the outside, what's going on the outside. Just think about what's going on in the gym, and just studying my opponent. That's pretty much it. I'm not really thinking about the magnitude of the fight. I'm just focused on the training and in the fight itself.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Bo Dier with USA Today.
Good afternoon, Dana. I wanted to ask one thing about the Ultimate Fighter. There are reports today that say the Ultimate Fighter 15 is going to have tryouts in December. Are those tryouts going to be for a U.S. version? Are these going to be people who go into the house and do a lot of the same things that we've seen, except for with the difference being the live fights?
Yeah, no, the whole format's going to change for the new Ultimate Fighter. Yes, the format is going to be live. We're going to be filming this thing live for 13 weeks, and we literally go right into the finale. Normally, these guys would go home. We'll go right into the finale while they're still here, and the coaches will fight a week later, and they will have been training here in Las Vegas the whole time too. It's a completely different format.
And so, is the house? Well, first of all, is the house still standing after 14 seasons, and will that be used anymore?
Yeah, we've had different houses. Yeah, we definitely need a house. That's where they're going to live. The house will be there.
All right, and on Fox, as you look at the other promotions that were on CBS, Elite at Sea and now Strikeforce, which you now run, do you look back at those shows, specifically the shows, not the promotions as a whole, and think of those shows, that is something that we are never, ever going to do the same way when we have our own network show?
Those guys should have never, ever been on network TV. They should have never been there. It never made sense for either party. It never made sense for the organizations that were on there, and it did not make sense for the networks.
Was there anything they did right on those shows?
I don't understand the question. I mean, if they did things right, they'd still be there. They did anything right, they'd still be there. The deals were wrong. Everything was wrong. You had guys cutting these deals and going on national television that had no clue what they were doing. Made no sense. I could have been on network television, I don't know, 6 years ago. Wouldn't do it.
You mean just the fighters, or also the commentators and producers and the whole staff who should have been on the national TV?
Come on. I'm done with this question.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Mauricio Dijo from UOL.
It's a question for Junior. Silvano, queria saber se toda essa sua nova fase, que você chega como desafiante ao título, que você passou por técnico do Ultimate Fighter, hoje é uma pessoa conhecida no Brasil, isso mudou alguma coisa em como você trabalha, ou se você fez um trabalho para não deixar isso atrapalhar a sua preparação e tal?
Okay, so the question is, vou traduzir. The question is, Junior, you've come into this sort of new phase. You were the coach on Tough. You've been getting more media attention. And has it changed how you work and train? And what do you do to make sure that all of these new things that are happening don't interfere with your training?
Então, eu acho que não mudou nada. Eu sou um cara bastante focado. Ao contrário, melhorou tudo, entendeu? Eu acho que as oportunidades têm para fazerem a gente mais forte, né? E assim, a gente precisa, todo homem precisa de sorte na vida, e eu me considero um cara de sorte. Tudo aconteceu assim, às vezes eu fiquei até frustrado pelas coisas que estavam acontecendo. Primeira luta com o Cain teve que esperar, mas de repente as coisas vão mudando. Eu fiz o Tough e agora eu vou estar no primeiro UFC em televisão aberta da história. Então eu estou muito orgulhoso de mim mesmo e da confiança que o UFC está depositando em mim.
Ok, obrigado.
Valeu.
Nothing has changed. I'm a very focused guy, and all of these opportunities that have come into my life, and this new phase, as you call it, have really all been for the better. They've all brought me good opportunities. At the end of the day, every man needs luck, and I'm a lucky guy. You know, good things have been happening to me. Initially, I was frustrated when Cain was injured, but all of these good things happened as a result of that. I got time to be on tough. I got time to work more on my strategy. I got a great fight against Shane Carwin. And now I get to be on the UFC's debut on network TV and to fight against Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Jeff Wagenheim with SportsIllustrated.com.
Okay, Dana, my question is about you guys at the UFC have been in charge of every aspect of how your product is put out there into the world, whether it be your pay-per-views or even on Spike. You guys have been, you have the commentators, everything. And now that you're on Fox, it sounds like it's more of a collaborative process. You're not completely handing it over to them, and you're involved in it, but I'm sure that they must have some creative input in that. I'm wondering how that experience has been for you guys, for you and for your team.
Yeah, of course. First of all, we wouldn't do a deal with any network unless we had control of it. That's been well documented, man. I would never go on a network and just hand production over to somebody else. But on the same note, you know, we respect the guys at Fox, and we've had a fantastic relationship with these guys. And we're not even in business together yet. We really aren't in business together till January. And these guys have been the best partners we've ever had already. And if you look at a guy like David Hill, he's revolutionized football, NASCAR, and everything else that he's put his hands on. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for him, and I like his input and his ideas. So it's been great.
Right, sounds great. Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
The next question is from Mike Chiappetta with AOL Sports.
Hi guys, this is for both Cain and Junior. I hope you can answer. Cain can go first. Obviously, this is a historic fight. Have you thought about, you know, that the place in history that this event has, and what does it mean to you just to be involved in it?
I mean, for me, it's just a great opportunity, you know, just for the UFC and Fox to choose our fight to headline. You know, November 12th is just a great honor to show that, you know, that they love the way we fight, and you know, I'm hoping to make it an exciting fight for the fans. You know, Dos Santos is a great opponent, and I mean, we're definitely just gonna go out there and you know, throw down. I mean that's pretty much it, and people are gonna love to see that.
Okay, and for Junior, translation. Júnior, ele falou que, obviamente, essa é uma luta histórica. Ele quer saber se você já pensou sobre esse aspecto de fazer parte da história do UFC e o que esse aspecto significa para você.
Então, como eu realmente disse, eu me considero, eu estou muito orgulhoso de mim mesmo, do meu trabalho, da minha força de vontade, ter me trazido até esse ponto hoje em dia, e fazer parte desse evento histórico do UFC, para mim é muito gratificante, ainda mais lutando contra um cara como o Velasquez, que na minha opinião realmente é o número 1 do mundo, peso pesado do mundo, e invicto também. E dia 12 de novembro eu quero ser o número 1 do mundo.
Truly, I am very proud. I'm very proud to be a part of history. I'm proud of my work, and I'm proud of myself and my dedication that's brought me to this point. It's very gratifying to be a part of all of this, especially fighting against the number 1 heavyweight in the world, Cain Velasquez. I truly believe Cain Velasquez is the best heavyweight in the world. He is undefeated, so it's an honor to be fighting him. And come November 12th, I want to be the number 1 heavyweight in the world, and I'm just very thankful for the opportunity.
Okay, and Cain, I'm wondering, being kind of, you know, the face of this event, and it being the first one on the national broadcast television, have you felt more demands on your time than usual for this promotion?
No, you know, with every fight, it seems like it just gets more and more as far as the media stuff. But you know, it's just part of the job, and I'm definitely happy to do it. It hasn't been overwhelming, so I think it's been just the right amount, you know, for me to work on this, and it's been good. I've been happy with it.
Okay, and for Junior, you know, we saw in the primetime episode, you know, a little bit about your background and where you come from, coming through some personal poverty, and obviously doing extremely well now. What would it mean for you now to kind of go through that whole this life and now to become the champion at this point? What would that mean to you?
Júnior, vimos no Prime Time agora essa semana pouco sobre a sua história pessoal, uma história de pobreza, uma história de bastante dificuldade. O que significaria para você agora conseguir passar por cima de tudo isso e se tornar o campeão dos pesos pesados?
Eu acho que a gente tem o que a gente merece, a gente colhe o que a gente planta. Eu acho que eu trabalhei duro, realmente eu venho de uma família bastante humilde, tive uma infância bastante difícil, mas eu acho que isso me fez ser uma melhor pessoa hoje em dia, dar valor ao que eu sou, dar valor ao que eu conquistei, e eu tô muito feliz eu já mudei minha vida muito. Minha vida já mudou bastante e eu quero continuar mudando. Quero cada vez ser melhor para mim mesmo, para minha família, dar melhores oportunidades para gente, para nós. Eu venho de uma pequena cidade onde não tinha muitas oportunidades e hoje eu tô no melhor e maior evento do mundo, que é o UFC, lutando pelo título mundial. Então eu acho que eu sou um homem muito abençoado por Deus.
I believe that we reap what we sow, and people wind up getting what they deserve. You know, it's true, I came from a very humble family with a difficult childhood, but going through that made me a better person and makes me the person that I am today. I'm grateful, I know the value of everything I've achieved, and I'm just very thankful for all of the opportunities that have come my way. My life has already changed a lot for the better. It's changed for me, and it's changed for my family, and I thank God every day for all of that. And I want to continue to change it. To become the heavyweight and to have that title is just going to help me continue on that path to better my life and better my family's life.
Okay, thanks. And then one final one for Dana about the Ultimate Fighter World Cup. How many international editions do you think that you need to make that happen, and how far do you think you are from that being a reality?
Hey Mike, this is Dave Schaller, and also for everybody else on the call, Dana has left the call to attend to a meeting, so the final 15 minutes of the call will be Junior and Cain.
Okay, thanks Dave, I'm done then, thank you.
Right.
Next we have Wagner Vargas with Choreo Vigilance.
Boa tarde, good afternoon. Eu queria fazer uma pergunta pro Júnior. Júnior, eu queria que você falasse um pouco do seu treinamento, né? Você tá em Salvador, o Minotauro tá com você direto. Eu queria que você falasse o Dória também. Eu queria que você falasse um pouco como é que tá sendo esse treinamento para essa luta, e queria saber se você considera como é a sua grande oportunidade na vida, na carreira até agora, e o que você já antevê se ganhar esse título aí.
Tá.
He's asked Junior about his training schedule. Junior, you've been training in Salvador, Bahia, along with Big Nog, Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira, and also along with Coach Doria, his boxing coach. Do you consider this really the biggest opportunity of your career and your life?
Então, o treinamento aqui tá muito bom. Eu tenho quase 3 meses treinando aqui na Bahia. Tudo foi um campo diferente. O treinamento foi muito mais duro, porque agora eu vou lutar 5 rounds, mas eu reagi muito bem a esse treinamento. Tenho pessoas boas me ajudando, um cara do wrestling, um cara do Muay Thai, o Billy, que são americanos. Tenho o Ramon Lemos, o Yuri Calton me ajudando, com o professor, o meu preparador físico, André Piccoli, e o Dória também, o Minotauro também já estão aqui, o Maldonado também está me ajudando nos sparrings. Então eu fiz um camping muito bom aqui, estou me sentindo muito bem, não estou sentindo pressão sobre tudo que está acontecendo e tenho certeza que no dia 12 de novembro eu vou dar o máximo de mim para sair vencedor dessa luta. Sei que o Cain vai ser um oponente difícil, mas eu tenho certeza que eu posso sair vencedor dessa luta porque eu trabalho duro e confio muito em mim.
Só pra finalizar aqui.
Deixa eu só traduzir.
Ah, tá, bom, foi mal, desculpa.
So that everybody can follow along. I've been training for about 3 months in Bahia, and it's been very tough, very vigorous training since I've been getting prepared for a 5-round fight. I've been counting on a big team, including Big Nog and Doria, whom you mentioned, but also counting on the help of several others. I have Billy Shivey here working on Muay Thai. I've got Ramon Lemos and Yuri Carlton helping on my jiu-jitsu game. Josh Janasek is helping me with the wrestling. My physical conditioning trainer is Andre Piccoli, and I also count on the help of Big Nog, Little Nog, as well as Fabio Maldonado, and several other local fighters to help with my sparring sessions. It's been a really great camp. I'm feeling fantastic. It's a great opportunity, but I don't feel pressure. I feel good. I know that Cain is going to be a tough opponent, but I'm very confident in my ability. I'm confident that I can come out of that fight a winner.
Bom, você falou que tá bem preparado aí pros 5 rounds, né? E tem a questão do Cain ter lutado a última vez há mais de 1 ano já. Você acha que isso pode pesar um pouco a seu favor, já o fato de você estar se preparando bem para esses 5 rounds, mas também vai ser uma novidade para você? Como é que você pode que essa questão dos... Como é que você acha que essa questão dos 5 rounds pode interferir nessa luta aí?
Junior, you said you've been preparing for 5 rounds, and you said you feel prepared for 5 rounds, and Cain has also been out of the game for a while. But how do you think that the 5-round fight is going to affect your strategy and affect the overall fight?
Como eu disse, eu treinei muito e meus últimos sparrings, eu estava fazendo 2 sparring por semana, de 6 rounds cada sparring, então estava me sentindo muito bem e a minha preparação física também pesadíssima, então eu posso dizer que com certeza que eu estou pronto para lutar os 5 rounds. Não acho que a luta vai durar os 5 rounds, porque tanto eu quanto o Cain procuramos a luta o tempo todo, e eu acho que ela não vai durar os 5 rounds, mas se durar, eu estou preparado, e eu acho que não vai fluir muito. Eu sei que o Cain está parado há um tempo, mas também sei da capacidade dele, e eu acho que ele treinou muito, é a primeira defesa de título dele, e tenho certeza que ele vai vir muito bem para essa luta, e é esse Cain Velasquez que eu quero enfrentar, o melhor do Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, as I said, I've been training a lot for a 5-round fight. I've been doing 2 sparring sessions a week for 6 rounds each. Plus, my physical strength and conditioning training has been very, very rigorous. So I feel good. I would be ready for 5 rounds if it went to 5 rounds. But personally, I don't think this is a fight that's going to go 5 rounds. Both Cain and myself are aggressive fighters. Both of us go on the offense. Both of us look to fight. We're not fighters who dodge fights when we get in that cage. I know Cain's been out of the octagon for a while, but I also know that Cain's a phenomenal fighter. He's a professional, and I'm sure he's going to bring his best inside that octagon, and he's going to be ready. I don't want to fight an injured Cain Velasquez. I want to fight the best Cain Velasquez, and that's what I'm preparing for. And I don't think Cain would take a fight if he weren't capable of giving his all. It's going to be his first title defense, a very big fight for him. So I look forward to meeting up with the champion, Cain Velasquez, at his best. That's the guy that I want to fight.
Next, we have a question from Luke Thomas with SB Nation.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Pardon me. Cain, I want to talk about your shoulder. You had a pretty extensive surgery repairing your rotator cuff and labrum, as I understand it, and there were reports during your rehabilitation that it was taking a little bit longer than original expectations. Can you talk about the rehab, how it went, how long it took, and how you feel today?
The rehab went fine. Just the doctor said that with this injury, it takes a while for it to heal, and with the whole rehab stuff in the beginning, it's just letting it heal by itself, not really doing anything to aggravate the shoulder. So the first couple of months, it was tough because that's when I really couldn't do anything. And then once I got the green light to start doing more extensive rehab, then we do stuff for range of motion. We started weight training light to get the strength back into it slowly, and then just kind of build up on it from there. So I mean, it just took just took time for it to get better. But I mean, I'm happy that I listened to the doctor. I'm happy that I went through it and didn't rush it. Because now it feels 100%.
How long would you say it took from the moment you had surgery to you felt like you were back to being able to train at the pace that you were accustomed to before the injury? How many months or weeks was that?
Well, right after the fight, right after the Brock fight, 6 weeks after, in between the 6 weeks, the doctor said maybe with just rehabbing it without surgery, it'll probably get better. So that's what we did. We rehabbed it for 6 weeks. Hopefully that it would heal itself from there. And once we got back after 6 weeks, we checked it out again, and it was still torn. And the doctor said, we need surgery now. This would be the fastest thing. And then ended up getting surgery in January up until July, when they gave me the green light to go ahead and start training 100%. So.
And the last question about this: was there ever a moment during rehabilitation where you got, I don't know, frustrated with the timeline, or did you take everything as the doctor recommended with a professional attitude? Like, was it ever a cumbersome process for you?
It was definitely frustrating, at times. I'm a guy that likes to stay active. I like to be in the gym. I like to train, and being able to just getting that taken away from you, it's definitely tough. But I just try to keep my my head in other things at that moment. I would try to do stuff for the UFC, signings, just something to keep me busy, spend time with my family, and that kind of get my head, away from just thinking about me being hurt and just doing stuff positive.
Our next question comes from Damon Martin with MMA Weekly.
The first question is for Cain. Cain, coming back for this camp, of course, we saw Junior in his last fight, fight Shane Carwin. We got to see some of his wrestling for the first time. I just want to get your thoughts on that performance, and what did you learn about Junior's wrestling? Because a lot of people look at that as a big dynamic in this fight.
Yeah, Junior looked good in that fight. He's just like his other fights. I mean, he's impressive. Dangerous in all areas. And then his wrestling, I mean, there's not one aspect of the game that he's short on. His wrestling looked really, really good. He was great takedown defense. He even took Shane Carwin down a couple times. So there's not any area that he lacks in, and he's going to be tough in all areas. So that's where we're trending for, and that's what we expect from him.
And not that you would have underestimated him either way, but are you glad you got to see that fight? Because it's really the first time we've seen some of that out of him, the takedown defense, and especially being able to take a guy like Shane Carwin down. We got to see a little bit more of his game. Are you glad you got to see that fight before you had this one?
Yeah, definitely. I like to see as much video and footage on my opponents as possible. So, I mean, any little bit will help. So I'm definitely happy I got to see that.
Yeah, and for your own training camp, I know, obviously A.K.A. always brings in a lot of top guys. I know Daniel Cormier was a little bit banged up for this one when he got hurt in his last fight. But can you just talk a little bit about who you've been working with and what has been a big part of this training camp as you get ready for Junior and obviously such a big fight?
A big part of the training camp is, watching the film, getting ready that way. And, the kind of guys that we brought in, we have multiple guys that we spar with. It's not just one guy. So guys from we have Paul Bonatello that would trade in on me. Travis Johnson. Guys from other camps just came in and I mean, usually when I spar, it's like I'm sparring with 3 other guys. So there's not gonna be any tougher than the 3 guys rotated in on you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys.
We'll take our final question from Neil Davidson with the Canadian Press.
No, I'm good, thanks. I'll let somebody else ask.
I'll turn the call back over to Dave Scholler.
Thank you, Camille, and thank you to everybody who joined today's call. We are going to wrap it up at this time. Just a reminder, UFC on Fox is live on Saturday, November 12th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, from the Honda Center in Anaheim. Limited tickets available at the Honda Center box office. I want to say thank you to Dana White, who was on the call today, as well as UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez and challenger Junior Dos Santos. For members of the media, we will have a full media schedule available later in the week, and we look forward to seeing everybody in Anaheim for UFC on Fox, Velasquez versus Dos Santos. Have a great day.